that's kind of where my journey has led me. I was a femboy at first. Well, I technically still am, I guess, in some way. I also consider myself like a soft boy. Because sometimes I just don't really necessarily feel feminine. I just feel more soft and cuddly and chill, you know. But I don't necessarily feel feminine, you know. Sometimes I feel more feminine.
I remember, didn't you like back in the day kind of reject the label femboy?
Yeah, I kind of still do.
Is it because of like how heavily like sexualized the term is?
Yes. It's more because of the stigma and controversies that I don't really like that around are involved around it. Because a lot of people, I rather tell them I'm a femboy after they get to know me than beforehand. Because beforehand they have the prejudice, and I understand because, you know, when you hear the term femboy, it's usually something that is engaged in a sexual activity, and that's just where the term became popular from. So I understand where the stigma comes from. So people will, like, you know, eventually find out that I am if I don't say it anyway, because like there's so many people that will just normally they will meet me and I don't tell them about it, and eventually they can tell, and then they will ask, and I'm like, yeah, I am. What about it? And they're like, oh yeah, you're not, you know, what I expected. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, because I'm not like
the porn-brained.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, I'm not like the same as everyone else. You know what I mean? Like
it's a very. I mean, the same when it comes to like trans women as well. It's just a lot of it is just the stigma because people sexualize, like fetishize our existence.
Yeah, it happens to us too. And you know what's even worse? I think here's the thing. I think femboys and trans people get along pretty well, but there's this really weird thing where they call trans people femboys, and then they call femboys trans people. And that's like the dumbest thing ever, because I'm like, you're just insulting both of us right now. You know what I mean? Like calling a femboy a trans person is disrespectful, but calling a trans person a femboy is equally as disrespectful.
I mean, like, for me, it's like there are obviously a lot of like trans women who also call themselves femboys.
Femboys, yeah.
But it's like when people put that label on you, it can feel really invalidating, because like, I'm not a feminine boy, I'm just a girl. And
I think for me it's more because of the fact that there are obviously trans people that are femboys too, right? But it's more about the fact that they're using it because like they're definitely, I'm not saying that they mean to say it in a rude way, but I feel like the way how they say like, okay, but if you're trans, but you're just a femboy instead, right? Like if they say that, that's obviously just they're not saying that because they don't know better.
It is
they're
invalidating.
Saying that because invalidating, exactly. And for femboys it's the same thing. If they say like, femboy, you're a trans person, I'm like, you're just you're trying to invalidate us. You're not oblivious, you're not stupid.
You're
just
not a real boy because you want to wear skirts and do the girly thing. You're trans.
Right.
And it's
like, you're trans. It's like,
I think a lot of it also comes from the fact that a lot of trans girls do have like this femboy stage of like, well, I can't be a real girl, so I'm just going to settle for being a femboy. Yeah. Which also causes a lot of like transphobia in femboy spaces.
It's
annoying. Like, I accept that I can never be a real girl. Why can't you?
Yeah, it's so weird because like a lot of femboys, not a lot of femboys, but there are femboys definitely that enjoy femboys, but then like the moment when the femboy says like, yeah, I might be trans, then they immediately just like drop their support and be like, hey, you're a scum of the earth. And it's like, wow, I didn't know that. But nothing changed about me. You know, like, what's the problem? Like I came out as gender fluid, and I think there's one person that went from really liking me, I think, to absolutely fucking hating me because I'm a trans cultist now.
Oh.
And I was sitting and I'm like, sorry, what? Why am I trans cultist? Because I advocate for trans rights, because I say trans rights matter, because I am an ally, because I care about them, because I'm pretty much trans myself, because I'm gender fluid, quote unquote, right? Yeah. So like I'm there, man, like, but nothing has changed about me, so what's the difference about me now, right? But then that's only because I associate myself with a label, and it's like, that's crazy.
Just the social stigma that comes from it. I feel like I was talking with my friend Lucy about this, because like on Valorant and so on, obviously a lot of people, you know, ask me if really I'm a femboy, and I kind of like I play into it because, you know, it's funny content. I don't want to always like fight and be like, no, I'm actually like a real woman. It's
Yeah, you can
really
have fun with it
exhausting.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You
And
can have fun with it sometimes.
it's kind of interesting how well, quote unquote, well, femboys are received in these spaces, but trans women are hated.
I not, yes.
And a lot of things, it's just like the social stigma and also how the media portrays certain types. Because like, oh, you think of femboys, you know, they're sweet and small and they just, you know, they wear their skirts and have their thighs. And when it comes to
but then when
trans
they
women,
say that it's suddenly like too much. It's like, what?
yeah.
But nothing changed.
And when it comes
You
to
know?
like trans women, like the portrayal is like, oh, it's a man in a dress, someone who is a predator, and someone who is, you know, some pedophile, groomer, evil person.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
What are you saying? And I feel like those words have like lost their meaning now because people just fucking pin that shit on everyone, and it's like, okay, man, you don't even know what a word means. You're probably still using it.
Like you call out actual grooming, and then it's like, no, this is, you know,
No, but
no,
it's different. You know, they were in a different situation. They were, you know, it's a different scenario.
Yeah, there's 13. This 30-year-old going after this 18-year-old. No, that's totally okay because
that's normal. They're both adults.
Yeah, they're both adults.
It's different, you know.
but then it's like, hey, you know, like I just came out as trans, and that's like, oh, you're a grooming victim. Oh, you're a groomer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Like
you're just doing that so you can go into the women's bathroom and spy on them. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What do you think we are, bro? Perverts? Like, what's wrong with you, man?
It's because, you know, like they just want to do it. I
feel like they just don't have.
Oh, you just want to go into the women's. You want to go into the women's gym and look at the women
and harass the women.
I just want to exist, please, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to be happy.
Yeah,
because they're projecting, but they're also just so insecure.
It's so hive mind mentality.
Yeah, it's so hive mind.
Yeah.
They're just like bandwagoning because like everyone is hating on them, so they have to as well.
It's
but
like,
you're also right about like the femboy acceptance. A lot of people when they see femboys, they're like, oh, ooga femboy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love femboys. And then if it's a trans person, they're like, what? What do you mean you're trans? It's like,
but you're not a real woman. It's also like, I feel like a lot of guys are really scared of admitting that they are attracted to trans women.
Yeah, that too. But I actually had this conversation with my friend once since that they said like, hey, if you had like this perfect girl, right, and she's amazing, right, fits you, you get along very well, had a good laughter and stuff like that, but then eventually you find out that they're trans, what do you do, right? And some people have said to him like, oh, I probably wouldn't, and then he was like, but why? What possibly here has changed? They pass as a woman. You know, in fact, maybe she looks even better than most women, right? But they just, you know, they have a dong. They haven't had bottom surgery, or maybe they have, and you just find out that they're trans. What possibly could have changed in this scenario at all for you that could have thrown you off, other than the fact that they were trans? Yeah, it's just transphobic, isn't it? Like, that has nothing to do with anything because they pass as a woman. You get along well. You are basically like soulmates at this point, but you still deny them because of the fact that they used to be someone else. And it's like, no, now they're just their true selves and you're not accepting them for it. Yeah, that's kind of more rude. I feel like
a lot of aspects come from like the social stigma that, like, you know, straight guys would be more open to dating trans women if they wouldn't get mocked for it.
True. Yeah,
because if you're being
toxic masculinity, right?
Yeah, you're going to be called.
Comes from.
You're going to be called gay, and if you're being called gay or like you know, anything that is like feminine, you're losing your social standing. Bad. Yeah. Yes,
you do. And then they're like, you know, if a guy's being, because if like I don't know what it is, because femboys are more accepted. I feel like I think when people are like submissively masculine, guys like that question mark. But then when they say like, well, I don't want to be masculine, I want to be a girl, feminine, and leave it at that, then it's suddenly like, okay, now you're going too far. But it's like, okay, but why can I be a guy and be very feminine, and that you find that hot and sexy, but the moment I would transition, that's like too much for, isn't that,
it's like,
isn't that like playing more into their favor?
I feel like a lot of guys have like the perception that they would only be interested in women for reproductive reasons, and that, trans women cannot fulfill this need. So and there's also like this thing of like this hatred for like women, where it's like, well, I'm okay with like guys who are fulfilling like these traditional feminine roles, but I really hate when women, right? It's like weird, like Greek type
they're not allowed to do
shit.
It, but they're not allowed to
like
do it. Like
ancient Greece, exactly.
It's very like, what's the word for it? It's very
misogynistic.
Not yes, but it's like a double standard. Like we are allowed to do it, but you're not. Even though there's really no difference other than one specific thing. That honestly shouldn't play a role in this whole conversation. Also, I just realized I have to go soon, or rather soon.
You got stream soon?
Yeah, I realized that it's already 9, but I didn't want to like cut off the conversation because it was very interesting.
Yeah, I really enjoyed our talk, and I more than happy to continue this conversation.
We should.
I did want to like add something. I feel like there's also this point of like a resentment for trans women because they take away their their fetish, their femboys that they like their twinks that they want.
Yeah, the twinks they want. Yeah, because we're overly sexualized, and then they're like, oh, you're no longer that twink femboy that I want. Now you're just a trans
You're
woman,
no longer a boy wife. Now you're just a wife, but you can't even do the basic thing of giving me offspring or something.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. I feel like the whole, I don't know, the fetishization of it is just really bad.
It's really bad.
I don't have a problem necessarily with people like being attracted to it, because obviously everyone has their preferences. That's okay. But but the main difference here is like, I don't want femboys or trans people to have the fetish as like the #1 reason why they even exist. You know what I mean? Like, or why they even accept it, for that matter. Because like, I feel like that some people literally just accept femboys or trans people because they are fetishizing them, not because they actually value them as people.
It's just
that's a problem.
We're
like objects to them.
Yeah, exactly. We're such a small minority where people's exposure is just through porn. And there's also like this aspect of like, well, you are choosing to be a trans woman or so on, and you know what is happening, so you're doing it deliberately to be fetishized, which is like obviously not true.
I find that very funny, because they say you're just doing that because as if they know what it's like to go through it. You know what I mean? Like as if they know the experience and the thoughts that you have and how your brain functions, and
you're doing it to be sexualized by men.
Yeah, right. Ridiculous. I think that's the one thing with me and femboys, because like I started out accepting more of the fact that I was a femboy, because at the end of the day I'm a feminine guy, and ultimately the femboy label fits me. But I don't always call myself a femboy, because of the fact that like once I got into like the whole thing, I noticed how overly over-sexualized they are, and I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be a very sexual guy. Like I like don't get me wrong. I mean, I like sexual things, I guess, because I'm a human. I'm an adult. But like I don't want that to be my whole persona.
Factor.
I don't want to, exactly, right. I don't only want to be that. I mean, and I honestly was. So, before I became a femboy, I make lewd jokes sometimes, like innuendos. It's fun, like adult jokes. Not necessarily something like sexual, where I would be like, oh yeah, please come here and do sexual things, but like more like just like a little jab for fun, right? And I always used to do that, and I still do that. But then people were like, oh yeah, you're a femboy, that's why you're being so sexual. And I'm like, brother, I made one dick joke, bro. Like it's not that deep, bro. Like it's not, and it's immediately like as if I make a lewd joke now, it's suddenly like on such a higher caliber than when I used to not be a femboy and make the same exact joke.
Yeah.
But now it's suddenly like very sexualized. So I'm just like, okay, So I still make those jokes because I don't really care what people think at the end of the day. But also, I don't necessarily want people to think that I'm just a sexual object that you can just flirt with all the time, because that's just annoying. So that's why I don't openly like say it much. It just saves me the trouble of banning people.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
why I think, because like a lot of people tend to jump the gun really fast, and sometimes I get first-time messages that are extremely unhinged.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cringe as well, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's just another ban for the list, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and I try to make that clear to people, like, you can make innuendos and stuff like that. I think that's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with it, but don't go to me and start like asking me what my fucking phone number is or whether I want to suck your dick. Because respectfully, no. Well, actually, disrespectfully, no. I'd rather not. Like it's just weird. It's just weird. I just want to be seen as a person and be treated with respect. That's it. That's all I'm asking.
VTuber Fanboy wants to be seen as a person. That is crazy.
It's shit, man.
Wow.
Like, I'm no longer human apparently to most people. I'm not allowed to.
I mean, it's also like when people see like my trans flag and Valorant or so on, like people have like these immediate like questions of like, oh, what does your genitalia look like? Oh, did you have surgery? How long have you been transitioning? Whereas, like all of these questions that are like deeply personal, and they just like, oh, I'm just asking things. I'm just curious. And it's like, okay,
of course,
sure, but like you're a stranger and we're playing a video game. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like shut up, it's none of your business, man. Let them alone, let them play their game. What the fuck? Like everyone pries. It's like, if you're curious, then be a bit more respectful about it. I mean, going out in a public lobby and being like, hey, yeah, so what does your genitalia look like? I'm like, isn't that a Imagine you go out in the square in public, right? Fucking like put up a megaphone and ask some random trans person on the street, hey, what does your
That's
crotch
what
look like,
turfs are
bro?
doing. That is what's happening in the UK.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah.
People really have nothing to do these days, huh? Yeah. But yeah, I am indeed running out of time.
Yeah, it was amazing to have you on finally.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting. You should invite me again. I would love to come on again.
Yeah, we can set something up for sure.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you for sharing.
No problem. I really appreciate talking to someone about this as well. It's really cool. I usually talk about this with my chat, but having someone to talk about it as well is nice.
Yeah, that's kind of why I've been like starting to do those, because
yeah,
I typically also just talk to my chat, but it helps to have like a different perspective as well. A
different perspective, right? Yeah, that's very cool. I like that too. No, I vibe with this a lot. Feel free to invite me again if you want to.
Would love to. Thanks for hanging out.